piece, actually, I just realized. Make sure everybody can hear me this morning. Not that anybody's in the room yet, because I do these live, and of course, I never say what time I'm going to be doing it because I never actually know. So hopefully, you guys can hear me. The only way I'm going to know is if you guys comment below. But I'll have to wait till some people enter the room because I got to get rolling. I got to get this breakfast going because I have appointments. So let's just try to move forward. Even though there's nobody here, because I gotta get started on this. All right, and if anybody does enter the room, let me know if you can hear me. Obviously, always start with the powders, the Purium. The raw meal I'm not using anymore, but I have some leftovers, so I'm gonna use it. Good morning, whoever entered. If it's your first time, go ahead and comment. Let me know if you're a return. That's great. Okay, I always start with the powder. Why am I doing the powders? Well, because everything in these powders is superfood. And we know that our food is deficient. This hydrogen smoothie that I make is for nutritional deficiencies. It's basically like my multivitamin. So now I'm going to take a big scoop of Purium. So I like to do 2 scoops. That seems to be what the blood work shows to be good as far as me not having any deficiencies. All right, what's next? Still have chlorella left over, so I'm going to use some of that. Just a splash, though. I don't put very much. I mean, we're talking like probably 1 tablespoon or something. It's a small amount. And there we go. You know what I just realized? I was going to put a heat pack on. I guess it's warm enough. But I should get my strange apron on. Make sure I don't get stuff all over me. Good morning. Comment and let me know if you can hear me. I got this earpiece in right now, and I'm not sure if it's picking up the sound. So if you can let me know if you can hear me. Otherwise, I can modify it somewhat. And just we'll get started with the greens. Can you hear me? Hello. I guess, I don't know. Make a comment or hit the thumbs up to let me know you can hear me. Otherwise, if you guys aren't going to hear me, then can't tell you exactly what I'm doing. Okay, greens are next. These are basically pre-washed. I like to buy them pre-washed, but I do find bad spots like right here. See, I get one of these bad ones, and when it looks like this, where there's brown, watery stuff on it, I will not put it in, and I'll rinse it off a little bit, just wash it. Okay. I don't think, wow, there's a few ones with brown stuff. I don't think we get enough greens. I think most of us have a difficult time getting enough vegetables. Hence one of the reasons this smoothie. It's a lot easier to get your vegetables in this way. Hence the reason I created it. Okay. Oh, good morning. You're the first person to enter. Let me know if you're a first-time visitor or returner. I was just saying how much we don't get enough greens in here. Oh, let me know if you can hear me. I haven't had anybody comment and let me know if they can hear me because I got the earpiece, but I put it on at an odd time and sometimes the phone doesn't pick up on the Bluetooth. So just let me know. Can you hear me okay? Hello? Pretty good? Oh, good. Okay. Well, I think that's enough greens. I was just saying, I don't think we get enough greens. This is a creative way to try to get enough. I start with the powder. I like to mix the powders of these superfoods with all these fruits and vegetables because I think it helps getting enough of your nutrients. And you know what? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm kind of silly. Maybe I'm kind of dumb about it. But you know what? As I said in some other videos, I've literally had doctors call me saying, how are you getting these nutritional levels? So I don't know. It must be working. It's either that or I'm doing something else that's working. But something's working. So if that's the case, then great. All I care is that it's working. That's all I care. And good morning to our other viewer. All right, so after the greens, it kind of depends, but today we're going to go with, it's almost the same order every time, but I do a little different order, but I'm going to do the blueberries now. Blueberries, one of the most amazing fruits, berries in general. And you know what? As long as you can get them and they're affordable, that's what I'm going to do. And I wish I could tell you all the studies and all the things that blueberries have done. See, all I know is that when I watch or read information, or sometimes I watch, there's this channel that shows all the scientific studies that I really like. And when I see how good they are, I just remember, okay, blueberries are good. But I don't try to memorize everything. I just know that they're good. Hello, Ocean. But I know that they're very powerful antioxidant. I know that they're really important to have like very dark colored, fruits or vegetables. Dark colors seem to be really good. Let's go with ginger today. I'm going to use up this ginger I have here. And I'm going to be, I hate to say rushing a little bit because I have an appointment today. As usual, I usually have stuff I have to do and work. So I'm going to be rushing a little bit today. But see, this is the way it would be on a normal day, right? Just like, hey, I got to get rolling. Got to get this smoothie. Normally, I don't know. I think I'm a little slower on camera. Maybe because I stop, read comments. Because I've timed myself. Because I need to know how long this takes me. So I can get my day going. And I've seen I can do it in as little as 18 minutes, but usually I would say a good 20 minutes is a nice, round, safe number. And I feel like I'm missing something today, though. What am I forgetting in this smoothie? I feel like something's missing. Oh, it's the beets. Did I buy beets? No, I didn't. I went to the store, and honestly, they looked terrible. They were really, really tiny and even kind of expensive, which, I mean, actually, I didn't care about that because it wasn't that expensive, but they were just so small. Usually when I buy them, they're bigger, and I don't mind the price as long as, you know, they look big enough to where you're getting something. They were so tiny, tiny. This ginger today is going to be more time consuming. I could tell just by looking at it. When there's a lot of angles, and I got to peel off all these little spots. And so I knew this was going to take a little longer, but you know what? I wanted to use up the ginger. And of course, numerous health benefits about ginger. Usually people like to make ginger tea. I do know that it heats up the core body temperature, which is very important for health. And actually, hydrogen does that too, which is, I have a video from a medical center. They use it for, well, they did thermal imaging, but they've been doing studies in this particular medical center in Japan. They're actually using the Hydrofix, and they were using the inhalation aspect of it. And they were doing what's called thermal imaging, and it was definitely showing an increase in core body temperature, which is a good thing. And it has a lot to do with most likely the blood flow and which is obviously very, very important. It's one of the reasons that I like all these fruits and vegetables, because they get the body to produce nitric oxide, which opens up blood vessels. It's same thing that certain heart medications do, and even other medications like basically like Viagra. It opens up blood vessels, and that's what these fruits and vegetables, a lot of them do. And that, and then you get the blood moving. It's a good combination for your health, you know. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up, guys. I guess I'm not going to cut these little ones. Not enough time. They're so small anyway. I don't think they'll make much of a difference. I could probably just throw them in there, but I'm not going to. Okay, like I said, I know something's missing, but I can't quite remember what it is. I feel like I'm putting less and less stuff in the smoothie right now, or today. One, I don't have the beets. I used to put raw cacao in there, which I just don't have. When I find it at the store, I typically buy it. I like the health benefits of raw cacao, and from activating things like stem cells, and I like to put it in there. But I always just go with what I can find, and also what I would say reasonable. But we are going with one of the magic ingredients next, and the magic ingredient would be natto. Natto is one thing that I don't think anybody puts in their smoothies. In order to activate it, you have to twirl it 100 times. This is a bean. It's kind of weird to put beans in a smoothie, but it's just hard to consume. Well, I don't think they're hard to consume, but it's not something that most people would want to consume, other than it's a very common thing in Japanese diet. It's extremely health benefits. I mean, they've done so many studies in Japan on natto. It's unbelievable. Some of the properties of it appear to be good for something that I can't even talk about because we don't have free speech. You know, let's go Brandon, right? But sorry to say that. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is that I can't really say what I would like to say about some new scientific studies that came out about natto. But I would like to, but I guess I can't. All I can tell you is that it's really good for you, and might potentially be really good if, I don't know, there's some virus going around or something, you know, that it might be good for. But I'll say that, see how it foams up? See how we're activating it, oxygenating it? Look at all this. And there we go. Get some natto in us every day. This is, I mean, I would eat it also with like some rice and stuff, but this is just a way that I will get it every day. And be careful not to eat too much because it has too much protein, which sounds kind of weird, but that is what they say. Be careful more than 3 of these. And they're like a natural statin. It thins out your blood just a little bit, which is actually not a bad thing. But you do have to be careful if you are on statins. If you are on statins, then you have to be cautious about eating natto. Oh, now I remember what I was missing. See, I knew I was missing something. I can always feel it when I'm missing something. I don't know how, but it's kind of interesting. It's, I guess, I mean, you could call it an instinct, but it's like, gosh, I don't know, I'm sure everybody feels that way. They're like, I'm just missing something or just forgetting something. And it happens to me all the time. And well over 90% of the time, it's a accurate gut instinct. And that's raisins. Why sun-dried raisins? Well, when they're sun-dried, in my opinion, they're better. But also, which, by the way, you know, the sun is hydrogen. I'm going to put a little bit. I'm not going to put a ton. But these, well, I had them for, you know, they were left over. But honestly, they have boron in them. And they are just another fruit. And so I'm going to put them in there. Now that the smoothie's getting a little full, before it gets too full, because that is one of the problems with these smoothies. I make it probably look easy, but that's because I have so much experience, but I have to put some hydrogen water in here. Otherwise, if you don't put it in as you make it, it won't blend right usually, and then it'll get stuck. And then, I mean, you could use one of those sticks to push the smoothie down, but if you notice, I am able to make it without the sticks. Put the water up to about there, and let's keep moving at a brisk pace. Why? Well, because I got work to do, like most people. But this is the way that I do my every morning. Let's go with celery next. You know, celery, people were really big on the whole celery juicing thing for a while, but I kind of think they missed a little bit of the point, because I mean, obviously it's a magical vegetable like most are. But the biggest thing is, I should have shown you guys my dinner yesterday, didn't I? Oh, you know what? I posted it on, I think it was Instagram. I didn't do a video of it. It was so good. Been eating pretty good the last couple of days as far as treating myself a little bit more. But yeah, celery juice, I mean, guys, you eliminate the fiber. And we're learning more and more about the magic of fiber. And I'm not saying the juicing is no good. I'm just saying I want to get all this fiber in me. Why? Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's probably TMI, but it's so good for BMs, you know. And it's nice to have good bowel movements because it's important for everything to move. I mean, somebody contacted me yesterday and they're like, when I drink hydrogen water, I pee too much. I'm like, well, you know, you do have to understand that's a good thing. You want things to be moving through your bowels, you know, your GI, your urinary tract. You don't want things blocked. You want your blood moving too. That's why the natto thinning out the blood a little bit, but then the hydrogen, which by the way, you guys don't see this in the morning because I don't record it. I'll do one more celery. In the mornings, I load up on my hydrogen water, which, in my opinion, I say in my opinion, but I should watch my video. What is it, 68? Of how the hydrogen has been shown, and that was actually a study on this exact machine that I use, which is the Hydrofix, and how it moves the blood. And blood movement, especially with the blood nutrients in it, which is what we're doing right here. This is the whole point of this smoothie, that this is my multivitamin, even though it happens to be my breakfast and sustenance and fiber and vegetables and all that good stuff, but it's really for a multivitamin purpose. And you know what? It works. I mean, you know, it's a Looney Tunes idea, right? I mean, it's like, who would have thought of making a multivitamin smoothie? Well, this guy, I guess. I'm a wacky guy, I guess. I didn't think it's that wacky, though. Okay, chia seeds soaked in hydrogen water. Why? Again, a lot of minerals, a lot of protein. I mean, just nutrients across the board and fiber. And look, if you notice, the stuff that I put in this smoothie is to bring water to my colon. Do you understand how important it is to have water in your GI? I can't emphasize it enough. You want it well hydrated. And that's why we do this. And see, we're getting close. How long did it take? Not so long, did it? Was it that hard? Was it so hard? Natto is delicious. Love to eat it with a spoon of rice. There you go, says Ocean 7. Hello, I finally got some natto. There you go. Awesome. Let me know if you guys can hear me, by the way, because I feel like, I'm sure you can. Somebody said they could, but I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Because I'm not sure if it's the phone picking up my voice or my earpiece. And I do want to make sure that you guys can hear this. Otherwise, I'm just wasting my breath, and I don't want to do that. I'd rather just be in silence, which is usually what I prefer. But when people want to know, and quote unquote, I don't want to say they're in need, but kind of, I mean, they want to know, they're in need of good health. And for whatever reason, I honestly don't know why I happen to know what I know, or came up with whatever I came up with. And maybe some people don't agree with it, but I'll tell you one thing. You can't disagree with my blood work. Can't disagree with my blood pressure. Can't disagree with my blood glucose levels. You cannot disagree with my heart health, actually, now, because my heart used to be a mess. In fact, it was literally going to kill me. That's what I was told by my cardiologist. He's like, you're not going to be around much longer, dude. Your heart's a mess. And I was like, yeah, I know. I abused my body, guys. That's what I did. Probably worse than most. And I'm not proud of it or anything. I'm actually kind of embarrassed. And I actually hate that I did that. You know, because now I wish my body was just, you know, a picture of perfect health, you know. Because it feels good to be in good health. It feels good when you can walk. It feels good when you're not in pain. It feels good when your chemicals are firing on all cylinders, and you feel happy, and then you share that happiness and patience and love with your families and your friends and your kids and everybody around you in the community. And that's just the way that it is, right? I mean, so yeah. So, you know, we do what we can, but life is hard. Why is it hard? Well, in my opinion, it's the greed and the corruption that oftentimes takes the grip and makes life harder for everybody, you know, because most people, I don't know, this is weird to say. I wasn't saying most people are good, and that's just my opinion, you know. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who are not very good, and I get it. And I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've been, you know, I've had people. It's funny. I've been ripped off and scammed and all this stuff, probably like most people have. And the funny emotion that comes over me is I'm a little surprised. You'd think that I would just immediately run to anger. And I guess there was some anger, but really what I felt was actually I felt bad for the person. I'm thinking, I felt bad for the person who stole from me. That's hilarious, right? But I felt bad because I'm like, dude, do you like have no feelings? And do you even know what's coming for you later? Because I do believe, well, I would say I believe in the whole karma thing, but it's not really belief. I know that the karma is going to be there because I've seen it. I've experienced it myself. And I'll tell you one thing, scared to death of it. I don't like to, if I'm not good, it just eats me up inside and kills me, you know, and, whether it's not just the guilt, it's worse than that. It's, the pain that you cause to others, you know. So I'm putting 2 bananas today just because I guess I happen to have room and instead of cutting up another carrot because that's more time consuming. But hey, look at that. I did it all while on video, and I think a little more hydrogen water. And it's not just hydrogen water, it's clean hydrogen water, but I think we did this in roughly 20 minutes. I usually like to take my time, to be quite honest. I like to move slow, but sometimes you just can't do that. We won't make it to where we got to make it. All right, now minerals, as usual, concentrates minerals. You guys want to know where to get them, you can just type in how to mineralize distilled water, and you'll see my video, and I have links there for this stuff. These last forever. You're going to see how long this bottle lasts me. And then we'll add some magic ingredients after we blended it. Let's just make sure it blends. You just never know if it's going to blend. Let's just see. Woo-hoo. There we go. It's blending. Okay. Compost bucket. I'm going to go dump it. Good audio. Yes. Wait. All right. Whew. Can't tell if it smells like it's burning or if it's the compost. We'll let that blend for a second while I dump the compost. I think it's pretty well blended. Let's get some jars. Some of them will have to be sealed. Some of them will find the right top to seal. There it is. We got a lot of jars here. I'm going to be drinking a lot of smoothie. All right. One of my favorite tops, a little mushroom on there. Any idea why I like the mushroom? I think mushrooms are magical too. If you guys have never heard of a guy named Paul Stamets, in my opinion, probably the best mycologist in the world, but who knows, maybe I'm wrong. But he's one of the top mycologists, that's for sure. I love that guy. I've tried to get in contact with him because I wanted to see if I could do some interesting things with hydrogen and mushrooms, but he's a busy guy. So you cut these with a little hydrogen water, see, just a little bit. And let's see, make sure that this thing is actually blended. And you'll see how I add my magic ingredients. Because I already did all the magic ingredients in there, but not everything that I add. Because in the smoothie, everything's done. Excuse me. Yeah, I thought I was coming down with something, guys, like 3 times in the last, 3 weeks. And thank God I got out unscathed. I mean, it was the easiest. Oh, this thing's broken. Crap. If it's broken, it doesn't seem to seal right. And all it does is drive me nuts. I'm not going to do that. Try to find another one if I can. The funny thing is, where do they all go? Jars. Put all these jars with just different tops. I'm going to grab this. Oh, looks good. Yeah, so let's seal this one while I create, because it takes time. So the order in which we do things will help. And still not sure if I figure out how to do this thing, but I'm going to try. I'm trying some new techniques and methods. See if it works. All right. And if anybody knows what I'm doing wrong with this thing, let me know, because sometimes it doesn't seal. Okay, now that this one's filled halfway, let's move forward. What are my next favorite two things? These are my favorite two things. Can anybody guess what they are? Anybody guess before I put them in? I'm going to be shaking them for just a little bit. So if you want to guess, this is your time. Okay, no guesses. First one, D3 and K2. But is it ordinary D3 and K2? No, it's ionic. So that's great. Absolutely need D3. You can, I mean, to me, it's an absolute no-brainer. You do not want to live without D3. It's a bonehead move, in my opinion. And we'll put 5 drops of that. These are not trace minerals. The trace minerals went into the smoothie. Can hydrogen water help detox chemicals in water and air? Concerned about the chemical spills and explosion across the country. Well, actually, what I would first do is I would clean your water. So that's the first thing. You don't clean it with hydrogen. You clean it. There we go. It's sealed. See, I think my new technique might be working. What you actually want to do is carbon distill your water to get everything out of it. Wow, where's that thing? Okay, now I gotta go get another one. That's weird. Then it'll probably appear, right? So first you want to clean your water, then you put hydrogen into it. And the reason you'd want to put hydrogen into it, in my opinion, remember, none of this is medical advice or claims, but the whole reason you want to put the hydrogen into it is because hydrogen appears, and you can see a lot of my videos and the data, and there's good data on it, to really protect your body. So yeah, protect from chemicals and stuff. Is it going to protect 100%? No. But I've seen 90% cellular destruction without hydrogen, and then with the hydrogen you only get 10%. So it protects big time. That's why and then here we go. Now I can pour this in there. Oh, whoops, I missed one. Shoot. I put D3. Boron is next. For the brain, for ligaments, for bones, for what they call sex hormones in both men and women. Gotta put boron, guys. And you know what? I've been noticing it. So I actually, I'll tell you one thing. Some people say I'm kind of thin. To be honest, I can gain weight really easy if I want to. Now, I don't have a huge build or anything. I'm not going to be 300 pounds of muscle, but I can definitely gain muscle if I wanted to. I've just been more lean lately because of certain practices, more for health rather than athletic. Mm. Mm. It's pretty good. Inhaling my hydrogen while cleaning the dishes. There you go. Wow, this is good. Mm. Holy cow, that's extremely sweet. Now, for most people, they'd probably say, hey, it's perfect sweet. It doesn't bother me. I mean, it's just fruits and vegetables. It tastes great, but I think 2 bananas and the raisins was a little much. I think I just realized that I only needed 1 banana. That's okay. This will help. Hemp hearts, more protein. It's always funny when people don't think I get enough protein. They're like, oh, really? You want to do some blood work? We can compare if you like. Omegas, the most well-balanced omegas in the world, as far as my understanding is concerned. No medical claims there either, but that's my understanding. Nuts and seeds, guys, extremely good for you. Now let's see if it tastes better. Oh yeah, that was good. Set up my inhalation because, although I don't have a ton of time, I'm going to sit down and enjoy this smoothie and inhale my hydrogen at the same time too. Now, why would I do a silly thing like that? Well, it's a health protocol, guys. When you inhale hydrogen, this is all my opinion, this is what I've discovered. I found data that with every meal we eat, it accelerates our aging. And we know that hydrogen moves the blood a certain way, opens up ghost veins, which means if I inhale while I get nutrients in my body, I believe it's going to help with nutrient absorption. Now, it's just my opinion, but I will say that's the whole reason the doctor called me when he saw my blood work. He said, "How in the heck are you getting this level of absorption of nutrients?" And then he was even more shocked when I wasn't eating meat. It was funny people's reaction. I feel like it's no big deal. It's like people have been vegetarian for like ever. And all of a sudden they act like it's a big deal that I'm not eating meat or whatever. And I don't knock anybody who does. To each their own. I'm just following the data. I mean, that's what I primarily do. People don't realize I'm actually not biased. People think I'm biased, but I'm not. I just go off the data. I'm gonna heat up my heat pack, but you know, I'm not biased. I'm just all about the data. That's all. If organic food is better because it has less pesticides, boom, I'll go with that. If this keeps my blood cleaner, I'll go with that. If this is the best carbon distiller, the one I have right here running, I go with that. Best hydrogen machine that I'm inhaling from, I go with that. Whatever the best is. I mean, that's the way. It's a very Japanese thing. Mm. But I'm not Japanese. That's just the way that I am. Maybe that's why I find their society so amazing, though. Okay, I want to purchase the pure water distiller. What do you think about the mini CT? It goes for $7.50, and don't you have a discount promo code? I like the mini classic CT, and I like the cheaper one too. With the discount code, you can get it for 600 and something, the mini CT, and the cheaper one with the discount code, you get it for 500 and something. I think they're both very comparable. The only difference is with the mini classic CT, you have to take out a tank, which you go fill with whatever water you're wanting to filter. The cheaper model, you just pour the water into there. And it's kind of a love-hate thing because they both have their pluses and minuses. I think mini classic CT is a little smaller. If money is not an issue, probably go with the mini classic CT. If money is an issue, go with the cheaper one. They're both made in America. They're both really well made. Oh, and the discount code, I'm sorry. The discount code is Uprising144K Spirit Wolf, which is the name of my YouTube channel. That's most of my discount codes are always Uprising144K typically. That's good. I feel like I'm rushing a little bit to eat my smoothie. I don't like that, but I'm just gonna have to calm down. I was like such a rush making the smoothie. Did you guys notice that we finished the smoothie much faster than normal? Back to Christiana. Can hydrogen water help detox chemicals? In my opinion, yes. It's a really good idea to be using hydrogen water and inhalation when there's chemicals around. That's the whole reason. That's one of the main reasons I do it. Is for the protection and the detoxification and the neutralization of free radicals, which are typically caused by these type of carcinogens. So absolutely a great idea. And it's one of the best that there is, hydrogen in order to protect. And vitamin D is really good actually too. That's why I like my vitamin D levels up. And so is glutathione, but hydrogen helps maintain your good glutathione levels. So I don't supplement any of that stuff. There's a lot of things I don't supplement because I have hydrogen with me. Okay. I have this like bean bag or whatever it is that is warm. And so I heat it up in the mornings because I don't like turning on the heater. And here we go. And I kind of use it. Ouch. Just kind of use the heat pack and keep my body warm. Then, of course, I run in my distiller and just wear a sweater or something. And I'm good to go. Oh, this tripod. I got to do something about this tripod. I got to just buy one is what I got to do. They're not even expensive, but for those of you who don't know me, I don't spend money on almost anything other than high nutritional food and clean water, clean hydrogen. I grew up extremely poor, and so we used to money was always. I remember I was so confused when I was a kid when I would ask questions about, for example, like credit cards. I look back on the things I used to think. I thought it was hilarious. As a child, credit cards never made any sense to me. I'm like, well, so how does this work? And my parents would say, well, you charge it on this card and then you wait for the bill. And I'm like, okay, so we use it for $10. And I'm like, okay, so how much is the bill going to be? Well, it's going to be for $10. And I'm like, okay, so I have to wait for it. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, this is stressful. I have to wait for this bill. What if it gets lost? What if something happens, But I also thought, well, okay, so you don't have to pay it then, or what? No, then you get the bill. Then you got to go buy an envelope, and then you got to go to a bank, and you got to get checks, and then you got to write checks and put them in the envelope. Then you got to go to the post office and mail these things and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, wait a second, but you're going to pay the $10? Well, no, if you don't get it on time, you're going to have fees and all this stuff. And the whole thing was so stressful to me, even as a child, which sounds stupid. I was like, why don't you just give the $10 and then be done with it? Like, just have the cash and just pay for it already. Why do I need to have a credit card? So I hated credit cards ever since I was a kid. I didn't like them. I was like, it overcomplicates my life. I like things extremely, extremely, extremely simple. It's one of the reasons that, I just like things simple, and I don't like to overcomplicate my life. Even if it could bring you more money, because sometimes complicating the life, like, oh, I have this investment, that investment, and I have this 401k, and I hate all that stuff. Can I just like live a normal, simple life and not have to worry about all this garbage? Even if it makes me money, I don't even care. It's like, can I just have a really, really simple little room? I know I'm probably silly. I don't think most people would want to live like I do. If it was up to me, I prefer to go back to the old days where you just have like gold coins, and everybody's just paying with gold and silver and super simple or just something cheesy. I don't know. I'm cheesy, right? I'm just being silly. All right. I think I'm going to drink some more here soon. So again, this is technically my multivitamin, but I'm getting all the fibers, which, by the way, there's really good data on fibers. Hydrogen Man, you're the best. Oh, wow. Okay, that's very kind. I mean, I wish I was, but I don't think I'm the best. But that's very kind of you. Thank you, Nova, the zombie fighter. But I'd like to think that I used to do these very deep meditations, and I would see the craziest stuff. Oh my goodness. And I believe that there is corruption within just the heart of man in general. And I used to see it. I used to see it all the time. And I remember, because I've been doing the meditation since I was pretty young, and I used to always be like, I got to get rid of any corruption inside of me. I want to be uncorruptible. That's what I used to always fight for. And what I don't understand is why people won't want the best for others. Like, why wouldn't we want that? Like these leaders who already have, I don't know, millions upon millions of dollars, and it's like, how much is enough? It's funny. I'll tell you a story, and he shall remain anonymous. I'm not going to name his name or anything. But there was a guy one time who contacted me, and he was apparently very wealthy. And I've had a lot of these people throughout the years. And he said he had enough money for easily 3 lifetimes. Like, easily. Like, he had enough money. He clearly had enough money for this lifetime. And I was like thinking, if I had enough money for 3 lifetimes, even just this lifetime, I mean, I know what I would do, which we don't need to go into that right now. But the point is, you know what this guy was doing? Anybody want to take a wild guess what this guy was doing? He had enough money for 3 lifetimes. What do you think he would do with his time? What do you think he would do with his money? Or I could just tell you. I should just tell you. That part tastes really good in there. By the way, Spirit Wolf, let me know if I answered your question. And you too, Christiana. I tried to answer them, so let me know. But this guy would try to make more money. He spent all his time, guys. Think about this. Your life is very short. You're going to spend your whole life or your whole time trying to make more money when you already have enough for this lifetime and the next and the next. It's like, how much money do you need? And you know what ended up happening to him? He ended up losing it. The dummy. I don't want to say dummy. He just he lost a ton of it, and I think he said he barely had enough for the rest of his life, and he was really nervous about it. And I asked him, I said, why though? Why did you try to make more when you already had enough? This is where greed comes in. Now, he claimed that he really enjoyed the game of investing and trying to make money, but he also opened up to me and told me that although he may have enjoyed it, he said it was very stressful. I don't know, if something's stressful and not and gives you anxiety and ruins even relationships from what I was hearing, how is that enjoyable? And I don't know. I could think of better things to do with my time than just trying to make more paper. It's like, come on already. And you know what? I mean, honestly, I don't judge it. So don't even misunderstand because I'm like, look, if you have fun investing and making money, great. Now, granted, maybe I wouldn't if he had enough money for 3 lifetimes, maybe I would just like invest $1,000 and play around with $1,000 and do penny stocks and whatever, if that's what you enjoy. Maybe he just enjoyed making the money. I don't know, whatever it is. I just found it strange because to me, that is an absolute waste of time. Now, that's just my opinion, though. Remember, this is just the way I'm sharing with you guys my inner thoughts. It's an absolute waste of time if you already have enough money. Because what do you want to do with the money? Think about it. What exactly do you want to do with it? Have a fancier car, bigger house, a new house? I mean, what exactly do you want to do when you already have enough? And it's funny, even if I had a massive amount of money, again, I already know what the things that I would do. And most of them actually really actually, I would say, I say most of them, I would probably say all of them. Everything entails wanting to improve humanity in some which way. I have ideas for growing food that the world's never seen. I have ideas there's a device that actually I would like to build. Power comes with money, says Norma. Yeah, maybe that's what people want. Maybe they want power. And funny thing is, I rather I rather go away and nobody know me. That's actually what I prefer to do. It's just that I just feel there's this verse that really impacted me. There's a lot of interesting ancient scriptural verses, and I like a lot of Jesus's words. And I don't misunderstand me. As far as like, all right, I'm Christian. Let me go to a church and give 10%. It's like, no, I don't care about any of that. I care about what Jesus actually said. So the problem is that you say the word Jesus and everybody is synonymous with religion immediately. And Norma says, I agree with you on that. And I'm not really into the dogmatic church stuff. What I mean is when Jesus would say things like, when he was asked, what's the most important thing that you want to teach people? And you know what? He didn't say, look, guys, the most important thing is that you go to church and give 10% and accept me as your Lord and Savior. Now, remember, I'm using Jesus's words here. And he said, what he actually said was, love one another as I have loved you. That was his most important thing. And that right there, to me, that sums up all of the scriptures and the truth. Love one another. And what does that mean? It means if you're going to grow food, don't put chemicals in it. Make it the best way that you possibly can so that it's good for people. Loving others. If you're going to build a good blender, make it really good. Don't cut corners. Make it, so that it really chops up the vegetables. Make a good product. Put your heart and soul into it. You know, let's see here. Spirit Wolf says, thanks. I'll be using 13-stage reverse osmosis water for my distiller. Oh, there you go, brother. I just think it's a wise choice to get a water distiller because you never know how long this water store will be open. Absolutely, brother. I agree with you. That's actually what I'm doing. I'm taking my RO water and I put it in my distiller. You don't have to do that, but it keeps the distiller cleaner. Is it okay to use tap water for a distiller? Absolutely. As long as it's a carbon distiller, you need to have the carbon. So the distiller that I'm running, I mean, I could show you if you want. Well, I'm not going to show you unless you want to. You have a little cartridge that has the carbon filter. So after it distills, it goes through the carbon. It's the last stage. And you really want to do that if you're distilling. It's cheap, quick, easy. Anyway, I'm on a soapbox, aren't I? Sorry, I didn't mean to get on a soapbox about all this stuff. It's just, I just feel like if people cared from, it's from My Pure Water. Yeah, it's mypurewater.com. Discount code uprising144K. That's the one that I personally use, and that's what I recommend. Made in America. They use higher grades of stainless steel. Stainless steel is good when you're doing things like the distillation, but don't ever use stainless steel when making hydrogen. It's, you know, you love the soapbox? Okay. Refractor OG says, imagine how many millionaires use a Brita. I know. What a bunch of, I don't even want to say what they are. Is that the best? Yes. Mypurewater.com. It's not like there's not other good distillers. This is just the ones that I think are extremely good for the price. There are other good distillers. Distillation is not as complicated as hydrogen. Hydrogen, unfortunately, there's really not a lot of good ones out there. And nobody seems to want to put the effort in to do it right because it costs too much money and they don't make as much profit, apparently, but whatever. So, very tasty. So, yeah, back to the soapbox, I guess. All I'm saying is that everything we do should be for the betterment of people. And then you can live with yourself. So whatever product you want to do or whatever work you want to do or service, whatever, whether you're growing food or making blenders or I don't know, whatever. I can't think of any good examples. I'm just saying we just need to love one another. And, you know, I probably wouldn't have even started any of this channel or these videos, but I did make a promise when I was extremely sick and I prayed about it. And I was like, God, please guide me, and if you'll guide me, I promise I'll share with people if it works. And sure enough, all these years, it's just, I don't even want to get too emotional here. I'll start crying. But I mean, look what's happened. I'm not even a health guru. I'm not even supposed to be a health guru. I never cared to be a health person, actually. I didn't even care about learning, about health. With all honesty, I didn't. I didn't care. Somebody's like, ooh, did you know that natto's really good for vitamin K? I'm like, I don't care. I just didn't care. And now I care a great deal because I realize how unhappy I was, man. Oh my God, I am going to start crying here. It was just so painful to go through everything that I went through. And now when you put in the effort and the results you get from, and it's stupid stuff too, like your skin might start looking really nice, your nails get real strong, like all your body just becomes like this beacon of health. And you know what? As you age, you're like, okay, yeah, it's pretty nice to feel good, feel happy, feel strong. And even beauty, look, there's nothing wrong with beauty. Like a beautiful flower versus one that's wilting and dying. The human body should be beautiful and vibrant. And it's just my opinion, my soapbox. Okay, let's see here. Norma says, it hurts me to see others hurting, struggling. I can be truly happy. I agree, Norma. It's bothered me since I was a kid. I mean, when I grew up in a very ghetto area, I mean, I literally saw dead bodies laying there on the ground with flies, and it was just so heartbreaking to see that. And it's going on every day. And I know we could do better. I know we could as humans. I just think corruption always gets its ugly head in there. Spirit Wolf, is it okay to shake up hydrogen water when you're making drinks, or do you lose the hydrogen out of the water? You lose it, brother. Think about like a soda can when you shake it and then the gas escapes, and that's CO2. Hydrogen will escape even more. So, yes, you will lose it. What I would do is, make the drink, shake it. You can add a little water afterwards if you want. Or if you're going to make drinks, if you're going to drink alcohol, you might want to drink water, like hydrogen water first, like maybe this much or whatever, like 6, 8, 10 ounces, 12 ounces, whatever. Drink the hydrogen water first, and then have your alcoholic beverage, and then have another glass of hydrogen water, and then maybe one more alcoholic beverage. But I usually, according to the science and the data, you typically don't want to go over two alcoholic beverages. If you're going to go over that, okay, but just keep drinking your hydrogen water. There's good data to suggest, at least, that it protects. And like I said, hydrogen is so protective. So Norma says, can't be truly happy. Oh, let's go back to Norma's original thing because it was confusing me too. It hurts me to see others hurting, struggling. I can't be truly happy. And you know what, Norma? That's exactly what I saw in all my meditations. I saw for how could you truly, because I was looking for happiness. How can you truly be happy in the midst of your brothers and your sisters suffering? You can't. I can't be happy if I see people I love and care about, which is all of humanity, suffering. So what do? I'll tell you one thing. You got to go with what Rumi said. Rumi said it, but I actually saw it in a meditation years before I even know who Rumi was, which was basically Rumi said, when I was young and dumb, I wanted to change the world. And that's the way I felt when I was young and dumb. And then it said, but when I became older and wiser, I realized it is myself that I must change. And I've worked so hard on myself. And I'll tell you guys with all honesty, working so hard on myself, I'm shocked how much of an impact it's had on so many aspects of my life. And probably one of the biggest ones is it's not like I ever had bad relationships. And when I say relationships, I'm talking about more between, like a romantic relationship. And, people struggle in their romantic relationships and blah, blah, blah. But I'll just tell you, I was shocked at the differences it made. I mean, like I said, I didn't even have bad relationships with people. But when I started doing more work on myself, it literally just went to a whole other level. I should almost be like a marriage counselor. I mean, I'm serious. I know that sounds weird. It does sound weird. I can hear how it sounds weird, but I've learned so much. And I realized that in life, instead of everybody pointing the finger, which seems to be what the media does these days, everybody's always pointing the finger. It's like nobody seems to want to work on themselves, And same thing happened in regards to even, I don't know. I don't know how much detail I should go into, but see, I don't like to waste anything. Just so you guys know, this is my personality. I want to respect the farmers who made those super powders, even the companies that do that. Yeah, I'm sure they make a profit or whatever, but I mean, that's life. Business is business. But what I will say, I'm grateful that they exist and that I can get these wonderful products that improve my health. And of course, there's a lot of nonsense products out there. I've seen it. I'm not real fond of it, but whatever. I tend to just move on and focus on what I need to focus on. I can't focus on the negative because there's way too much out there. And so I focus on the good stuff. So when you watch my channel, I only recommend that which I use for myself. And I have the highest of standards for myself. So that's how simple it is. And I do my homework pretty good typically, but once in a while I get it wrong. Or maybe just not 100% accurate, not that I was totally wrong. But point is here, I'm not wasting anything. This is how I do it. I get my spatula and scrape off every little bit. I used to make these smoothies and I would have sometimes a friend or family member. I'm like, hey, you want some smoothie? And they would pour some. And when it was gone, they would just throw it in the sink and put tap water in it or something. I'm like, what are you doing? There's still stuff in there. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, get a spatula. And then I would scrape it and you could see what a difference it would make. And it's like, oh, I guess there still is some there. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to waste any of this stuff, guys. You have any idea how hard I work to not just make it, but not me working? What about all the people who work to actually grow this stuff? Yeah. Well, and when people think, well, I got money, I don't care, right? If people think I'm rich, I can buy whatever I want. I don't care if I waste it. It's like, no, it doesn't matter. Just like that guy who lost his money or whatever. It's like, look, just because you have money doesn't give you the right to be wasteful. Like the way America wastes food. I hate that. I'll just eat half this cheeseburger and then I'll just throw the rest of it in the trash. And it's like, well, wait a second. Some cow died so that you can and some farmer took care of that cow and all this stuff. And I know I'm probably sounding like a little whiny little girl here or something, but it's like people made effort and you're just going to throw away that cheeseburger? I don't know. I think it's a reflection, of how much you care. And I'll tell you, when you're grateful, I don't know. Okay, let's see. Norma says, what is difference in natto and natto kinase? Is it the same? It's not the same. Natto kinase is an enzyme found within natto. Natto is a whole food. I prefer the whole food, but natto kinase is definitely good, and that's the enzymes within the natto. So hopefully that answers your question. Moving on to the next one. Norma says, as a parent, I can say a mother is only happy as her saddest child, and that is so true. Well, Norma, you're going to make me cry again then, because I must have broken my mother's heart 1,000 times, because I was one of the saddest kids you've ever known. I mean, I was so sad. I know I don't like sharing this, but I know that I'm trying to be open with you guys. And yeah, I mean, I was so sad. I wanted to end my life when I was 8 years old. If that tells you anything. No, I've seen so many 8-year-olds, that are happy. I was always concerned when my family would have children that nobody was ended up like I was. And thank God none of them ended up like I was. But yeah, if my mother was only as happy as her saddest child, poor thing. Norma says, but if you're a therapist, you have to learn quickly not to absorb your patient's pain, or you wouldn't be helpful. I agree. And of course, they sent me a ton of therapists when I was a kid, and I feel like they did nothing for me personally, but that was just me. Grace says, I use RO water as well as a water softener. Do I need a distiller before using the hydrogen filter? No. You can use that water in the hydrogen machine. I mean, you can use a lot of water in the hydrogen machine. Obviously the cleaner, the better. The distiller just simply makes it cleaner. Watch my video 388, I believe is what it is. You'll see more details there. But no, what you have there should be fine. But if you want to, but it's not the best. Just remember, the best. There's a difference. And Grace says, hi, Greg. I use a water softener. Oh, you said it twice. Yeah. So what you have, that setup is good. But it's all about how much you want to go. See, I'm a little drastic, right? I want the best powder. Yeah, it's more expensive, but it's cleaner. It's better. Same thing with hydrogen machine. Well, the hydrogen machine, you kind of have to go with the best because, in my opinion, otherwise you don't really get the results and could potentially be bad for you, in my opinion. And I think that's important. Well, same thing with the glyphosate and stuff in fruits and vegetables. All this stuff can be bad for you unless you do it right. Same thing with water. That's why I'm all about the best. It just has to be the highest grade of purity. All right, guys, I think I'm going to shut her down here real soon. Any last questions, comments, anything else before I say goodbye? Sprinkle a little magic throughout the day with your fruits and vegetables from the earth. Thank you, Mother. I'll tell you one thing, maybe the Mother Earth is really sad, everything that we do, and yet she continues to give us. I know I sound like such a tree hugger, but I do like trees. I love them. Have a happy weekend, says Norma. Thank you. I hope everybody has a good weekend. I hope everybody's happy. Go, like Valentine's Day, go and love your partner. Go be nice to your kids. Go be good to your friends. Be good to yourself. Make a smoothie this weekend if you never make them. See how they make you feel. I'm a tree hugger, says Norma. I think I'm getting that, but I am too. I mean, how could you not be? I mean, what do we eat all the time? Everything we eat, everything's from the earth. How could we possibly not want to respect? What is it? Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Something like that. All right, guys. Thanks for the thumbs up, which is showing good support. It's free. And it's good for the algorithm. So I'll give you guys a chance to throw some of those up there before I say goodbye. Look at that. I already inhaled for half an hour. Start all over again. Let's go a little longer. All right. And Norma's the one that's really showing a lot of love today. Thank you, Norma. I like the sunflowers, if that's what they are. I love sunflowers. They're so pretty. And they're so big sometimes. And sunflower seeds are great. Flax seeds are great. I keep looking for flax seeds and I can't find them at the store. Nova, the zombie fighter, says, thank you for everything you do. You have no idea how much you're helping people with the information you spread and saving lives. Wow, Nova. Well, thank you. I certainly hope that it's helping. I know that, I mean, I want to do more, and I am going to do more. And it probably won't be much like this, but Ocean's 11, see you next time. Peace. Peace, brothers. You're appreciated more than you know. Wow, thank you, guys. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you all. All right. Thanks again for all the kind comments, thumbs up, support, peace, love, and happiness. All right, guys. We'll see you guys on the next one.